One day, I suddenly discovered I could hear the thoughts of my comatose wife. The legendary, cold-blooded female CEO was actually a chatterbox who never shut up. It's been 2 months already. When will I wake up? I'm so bored, so hungry I want hot pot, barbecue, spicy hot pot, Korean barbecue, seafood, and country-style chicken stew. She even started singing as she rambled on. Little cabbage, lying cold in the ground. When I have money, I'll be lying in bed. I couldn't take it anymore. Can you keep it down? Some of us healthy people are trying to rest. Holy crap, you can hear me? Quick, quick, let's chat for a dime. Lurian must be waking up because I heard her nonstop blabbering again. The nurse who's giving me sponge baths is terrible. She's not gentle at all. I wish I could get a new one. What's my husband's name again? He's actually pretty good looking. My butt is so itchy. Can someone scratch it for me? I'm gonna make a fuss. I was reading a book next to her and couldn't stand the noise anymore. I reached under the covers and scratched her, but a couple of times. The noise abruptly stopped. I glanced at Lu Ruyan. She was lying quietly in bed, with no visible change in her expression. The next second, my eardrums exploded. What's this guy doing? Why is he suddenly touching my butt? Holy crap, does he have some kind of fetish? He's not even letting a vegetable off the hook. Wah, if he could just go a tiny bit more to the right, it would be perfect. It's still so itchy. I frowned and scratched a bit more to the right, impatiently asking, "Can you be quiet now, please? You can hear me?" I ignored her and went back to reading, which only made Lu Ruyan act up even more. I was speechless. What happened to the cold-blooded, heartless demoness? I transmigrated into this book last month as a tragic character, the villain's soon-to-be groom. The plot of this book can be summed up in one word: cliché. I'm Chu family's illegitimate son. Originally, the one who was supposed to marry Lu Ruyan was the original owner's half-brother, who is also the male lead of this book, Chu Yan. However, Chu Yan's mother couldn't bear to let her precious son marry a vegetable, so I was the one who married into the family. According to the original plot, after the wedding, I would stay out all night, while also hooking up with a few minor characters in an attempt to kill Lu Ruyan. I would then use the inherited billions of assets to spend my days indulging in a life of luxury. Unfortunately, Lu Ruyan wakes up, and I quickly exit the stage. The rest of the plot revolves around the love-hate relationship between Lu Ruyan and the male and female leads. In general, it has nothing to do with me. With the attitude of, since I'm here, I'll make the best of it, I decided to stay in the story. Originally, I thought I could relax and read books without having to work $9.96. To me, this was a godsend. So during the day, I would go to Lu Ruyan's room to read, and at night, I would go to the mansion to sleep. I had already planned that when Lu Ruyan woke up, I would explain everything to her clearly and try to get a peaceful divorce. But after only a few days, I was being driven crazy by Lu Ruyan. At first, I thought Lu Ruyan had woken up, and I even called the doctor over. But the result was that no one except me could hear Lu Ruyan's nonsense. I suddenly remembered hearing someone mention a golden finger when I arrived. Could it be that my golden finger is the ability to hear the thoughts of the villainous vegetable? What good is this broken finger to me? After holding it in for 2 months, Lu Ruyan completely let loose after discovering that I could hear her thoughts. "You're my man. I remember. Your name is Chu Yan. Chu Yan is my half-brother. I'm his younger brother, Chu Chun. I met your brother. He talks too much crap. I'm glad it wasn't him who married into the family." I roll my eyes. She's want to talk about others having too much crap. I think she talks just as much. I was about to say something when Lu Ruyan started whimpering. "Can you do me another favor?" Her voice was a little shaky. "Do you see a mosquito bite on my butt? It's so itchy." I looked at the woman lying in bed. Her skin was as white and tender as snow, and her features were delicate. Even lying there, she gave off a sense of nobility. Thinking about what she was asking me to do, my face flushed a little. "It's just one last time. Aren't we husband and wife? It's just looking at a butt." "Lu Ruyan," I shouted loudly. Okay, it's just one last time. It's not like I can move. When I can move, even if you beg me to let you see, I won't agree." I couldn't listen anymore. I yanked open Lu Ruyan's blanket and pulled down her hospital gown. only to discover that her skin was even whiter, probably from lying in bed for so long. No, it's a bit lower. You're not even close. Helpless, I pulled it down a bit more, leaned over, and carefully observed. Just then, with a click, the door opened. I looked up and locked eyes with Lu Ruyan's mother. My hand was even shamelessly resting on her daughter's, but even I couldn't bear the awkwardness. Auntie, no, Mom. Lu Ruyan's mother's face was even redder than mine. Mom understands, knows everything. No, she doesn't understand. Lu Ruyan, unable to see, was still anxiously urging from the other side. What's wrong? Please hurry up. Thanks to Lu Ruyan, Lu's mother had been exceptionally kind to me since that day, giving me 100,000 every day and occasionally wiping away tears. Ah, our Lu family is the one who has wronged you. Even more outrageous, even the attending doctor specifically asked to speak with me. Lu Ruyan's chances of waking up are very high. There will be no impact on your cohabitation in the future. But during this period, please try to control yourselves. Control what? Control myself from not scratching the mosquito bites on her, but in the shape of crosses. I returned with a cold face and heard the instigator chattering as soon as I pushed open the door. Where did you go? I'm so bored here alone. I was too lazy to pay attention to her and started packing my things to leave. She whined, "Why don't you just stay here tonight? The nurse's snoring is too loud, and I can't sleep." Then you can choose to sleep by yourself. I roll my eyes. That won't do. The hospital is full of energy. I'm too scared alone. My temples throbbed. I couldn't help but wonder. Were you always like this? Like what? So loud and boisterous? Lu Ruyan was silent for a few seconds before saying, "I prefer to call myself a cheerful and sunny little girl. How many vegetative people have you seen with a mentality as good as mine?" After speaking, she sighed. "You know, I'm beautiful and have a good personality. You should be thrilled to have me as your wife." Yeah, I said. My threshold for laughter isn't that low. But I stayed that night. Not because of Lu Ruyan, but because Lu's mother was giving me too much money. I felt guilty accepting it. Lu Ruyan was actually shy when she found out I was staying over and asked awkwardly, "Is this our wedding night? It's my first time, so please forgive me if anything is lacking." I looked at the woman lying peacefully on the bed. Had she forgotten that she was a vegetative person? Lying next to Lu Ruyan, I couldn't fall asleep. The Lu family situation wasn't good right now. Lu Ruyan's car accident had impacted the company. Many of their own collaborations had been forced to terminate. Many competing companies took the opportunity to step on them, wanting to completely crush the Lu family, including the original owner's family. According to the original novel setting, Lu Ruyan did two things after being discharged from the hospital. First, she killed me, and then she brought down the Chu family. I felt uneasy and looked at Lu Ruyan, who was lying next to me looking silly. Would she really kill me? Lu Ruyan probably noticed my gaze and asked, "Am I that good looking? Do you want to touch me?" I quickly looked away. "No, thank you." During this time, Lu's mother visited the hospital less and less. I didn't need to ask to know that the company's situation was becoming increasingly serious. Everything seemed to be progressing smoothly according to the original plot. This made me even more panicked. I took care of Lu Ruyan with all my heart every day, afraid that she would be unhappy and directly take me offline. But I didn't expect something to happen in the end. It started when a media outlet came to the hospital to investigate. A nurse accidentally revealed that I was taking care of my vegetative wife without sleep. After understanding the situation, the editor-in-chief was deeply moved and published a special report that day called "Husband Devotedly Takes Care of Vegetative Wife After Unexpected Wedding Accident." It deeply criticized the social phenomenon of young people's hasty marriages and divorces and praised the resilient relationship between me and Lu Ruyan as a positive example. It was originally just a social news story that wouldn't cause any waves, but they put a photo that someone had secretly taken on it. I was sitting by Lu Ruyan's bed reading a book. The sun was shining on us, and it had a quiet and beautiful atmosphere. The photo was posted online and immediately sparked discussion among netizens. Damn, with a wife this beautiful, I could also remain chaste for her. This woman looks familiar. Isn't she like Lu Ruyan, the president of the Lu Group? I heard she had a car accident a while ago. Did she become a vegetative person? Wait, when did she get married? The result was hashtag Vuyan got married, hashtag Vuyan vegetative person, hashtag. It was trending on social media. Looking at the news, I was completely dumbfounded. Who was so talkative? I had told the hospital in advance. Lu's mother looked at Lu Ruyan with concern. Ruyan is low-key by nature and hates these news and gossip the most. Now, they're reporting the news of her illness. How am I going to explain it to her when she wakes up? On the other side, the low-key woman wasn't idle either. I'm on the news. Did they add a filter to the photo? And that nurse, couldn't you have let me put on makeup beforehand or something? Then her tone was a little smug. You see, even though I've become a vegetative person, there are still countless little fans calling me their wife in the comments. Little chun-chun, you need to be a little worried. Give them to them. I'll give them to them right away. I roll my eyes. Although the Lu family quickly found someone to remove the trending topics, the news of Lu Ruyan becoming a vegetative person could no longer be concealed. Many media outlets were blocking the hospital entrance, demanding interviews. If this continues, the rumors will only increase, Lu's mother said worriedly, looking 10 years older in just 2 months. Lu Ruyan could hear the outside world and said to me, "Let's make it public to the media. Are you really willing?" Instead of hiding it, it's better to tell the truth generously. But I'll leave the job of spokesperson to my husband. The day before, Lu Ruyan helped me prepare the speech in the hospital room, which detailed the entire process of her car accident and her current treatment situation. Although she spoke calmly, my heart still twitched. When that truck rushed over, were you in a lot of pain? I don't remember. Lu Ruyan pursed her lips. Actually, I only had one thought at the time. Great, I don't have to marry someone else this time. But in the end, you still got married. Her voice was tinged with a smile. Yes, thanks to the car accident, I got an even more handsome one. The press conference adopted an online live broadcast format. After I finished reading Lu Ruyan's manuscript, I suddenly noticed that the barrage was silent, and the reporters didn't seem very interested. A reporter hesitated for a moment before speaking. Mr. Chu, in fact, everyone is more interested in knowing the love story between you and President Lu. Then the barrage began to fly wildly, all asking when I got together with Lu Ruyan. Was it love at first sight? Some people even asked about 18-plus issues, such as how a person in a vegetative state can solve their personal needs. I secretly glanced at the woman lying next to me, who was completely unaware of this, and my expression slowly became bitter. We are a marriage of convenience. We didn't know each other before, so there's no emotional foundation. This is no secret in the circle. So the reporter continued to ask, then, after President Lu was injured, did you ever think about leaving? I shook my head. After all, I'm afraid of death. Then may I ask what attracted President Lu to keep you by her side? I wanted to say, because she's a big villain, the kind who can kill people, but I still thought seriously for a moment, and said, I think her personality is quite lively and cheerful. The event ended, and I breathed a sigh of relief. You've worked hard, husband. The voice made me tremble, and thinking of the reporter's question just now, my face started to turn red again, and I stammered. It wasn't hard. I originally thought this matter had come to an end, but unexpectedly the next day, #ChuChan press conference hashtag was actually trending on the hot search again. I was a little nervous. Did I say something wrong in the interview yesterday? Your attitude was sincere. Your performance was generous, especially your confession to me. It was so sincere and genuine. Don't worry, even I was moved. The netizens have no reason to make things difficult for you. I clicked into the topic and was greeted by a tweet that had exploded with likes. Chu Chin's wife is not a big devil. She's the forever sunshine girl in my heart. What the hell? The netizens in the comments were also going crazy. Lively and cheerful. Although I quite like Lu Ruyan. Is Chu Chin sure that's who he's talking about? Chu Chun, blink if you've been kidnapped. That person is Lu Ruyan. Am I the only one who thinks the setting of a vegetative female CO falling in love with a young, kept man from a wealthy family is particularly good? Agree with the person above? That was also my first reaction. Then the topic started to go off course, and everyone started discussing the CP of me and Lu Ruyan. Some people even launched a topic that was not suitable for children under this wave. Lu Ruyan couldn't sleep at night and forced me to read the fan fiction written by netizens under the topic to her. Chu Chun, who had been lonely for 3 months, walked into the ward and, taking advantage of the moonlight, pounced on the quietly sleeping CO. He couldn't help it after all. Chu Chun lifted the quilt and pounced on Lu Ruyan. I suddenly paused, and Lu Ruyan urged, "And then?" What did Chu Chun do next? Then Chu Chun lifted the quilt and scratched across hard on Lu Ruyan's butt. I closed my phone with a red face and closed my eyes to sleep. Lu Ruyan also knew that it definitely wasn't written like that, and hummed angrily, "I'll read it myself when I wake up." It must be said that the effect of the press conference was unexpectedly good, and even unexpectedly boosted the stock price of Lu's Group. Many CP fans began to pay for the love of Lu Ruyan of Lu's Group, purchasing several products of Lu's to help Chu Chun pounce on the vegetative female CEO as soon as possible. If y'all don't buy, how can our Ruyan continue to be a female CEO? If Lu Ruyan can't be a female CEO, how can I ship the CP? Some netizens also began to evaluate the products produced by Lu's Group. I've always bought Lu's before, and to be honest, the quality is much better than many foreign brands. More and more people began to pay attention to Lu's, allowing the company to inexplicably tide over the crisis. However, some were happy and some were sad. Lu's Group was resurrected, and the Chu family couldn't sit still. Not long after, Chu Yin found me. "Aiken, I just heard about your marriage." "I'm sorry, brother. I was startled by his false brotherly affection." "Why are you here?" "I'm here to help you." Chu Yin paused and began to explain to me. "The family insisted that I marry Lu Ruyan, and I ran to the United States in a fit of pique, but I didn't expect them to actually let you be a live-in son-in-law. Anyway, I came back to China as soon as I heard the news. Aiken, I've always treated you like a younger brother. Don't worry, I will never let you marry a woman like Lu Ruyan. I've already talked to the family, and they agreed to let you divorce Lu Ruyan." Before I could speak, Lu Ruyan clicked her tongue twice beside me. "Does he take us for fools? Because the CP that netizens are pushing is now urging you to divorce. Isn't that just plainly trying to ruin the Lu family?" I naturally knew this reasoning too. I shook my head. "No need, I'm doing quite well now." "Stop lying to me." Chu Yin grabbed my hand, his tone urgent. "I know you were coerced by the Lu family to say those things online. Aching, believe me, Lu Ruyan is no good. Just talk. Why do you have to make personal attacks?" Lu Ruyan was unhappy again. She muttered to me, "This Chu Yin is ugly enough, but why is his heart so evil? If this were a fairy tale, he'd be like Snow White's stepmother." I was annoyed beyond words. "Can you shut up?" Chu Yin was stunned by my shout. "Aching, you don't believe me? I wasn't talking about you." "Forget it, continue." Chu Yin probably thought that he had said bad things about Lu Ruyan that I didn't want to hear. To increase his persuasiveness, he took a deep breath. "Since that's the case, I won't hide it from you." He cautiously looked around to make sure no one was there before speaking. Lu Ruyan has violent tendencies. At 6 years old, she set dogs on a servant and crippled both of his legs. That person can only use a wheelchair now. In high school, she burned a classmate's arm with a cigarette, but directly forcing him to drop out. Since she was little, she's been a famous tyrant in the circle. I glanced at Lu Ruyan. I couldn't imagine her doing any of those things. Sure enough, Lu Ruyan sneered. "My family helped disabled people find employment back then. The uncle who fed the dogs was originally disabled. In high school, that little fatty was showing off his tattoo to me, but the class teacher caught him and he lied that his arm was burned by a cigarette, but with his rich imagination, why doesn't he go write a novel? He'd definitely earn more than he does now. There's one more thing. Do you know how his father died?" Seeing me shake my head, Chu Yin lowered his voice. "He wanted to inherit the family business, so he poisoned his father to death, and then Lu Ruyan went crazy. Husband, let him wait. I'll call my dad out of the coffin right now and take him away." After Chu Yin left, Lu Ruyan was still lying in bed, too angry to speak. Seeing me reading a book, as if nothing had happened, she was displeased. Seeing people slander me like that. Aren't you angry? What kind of husband are you? I wanted to laugh. Chu Yin should be your husband. If you dislike me, I can help you find him. Are you saying you want to dump me? Is that what you mean? Lu Ruyin was like a wife who had caught her husband cheating, her voice loud and exaggerated. Chu Chun, don't you want to take responsibility for me? I was dumbfounded by these words. Take responsibility for what? What? Do people in a vegetative state have no human rights? Is it okay to peek at the buttocks of people in a vegetative state and not be responsible? Can't this matter be turned over? After that day, Chuyin never appeared again, but I always felt that the matter wasn't over. Sure enough, after a few days, I was stopped by a strange woman. "Aching, are you still angry with me?" The woman looked a little dejected. Actually, the reason I suddenly disappeared before the wedding was because I was threatened by your father. You know my family situation. I can't risk my mother. This sentence gave me a bit of an impression. I tried hard to recall the original plot. Are you Joshua? You're finally willing to acknowledge me. Good. The green tea bitch who instigated me to elope with her and finally caused my tragic death has also appeared. Now, Lu Ruyin has been lying in bed for 4 months. According to the timeline, it's almost time for her to wake up. I don't want any extra complications at this point. I took half a step back. Sorry, I'm already married. Don't come looking for me in the future. I thought I had refused clearly, but Yu Joshua began to appear frequently around the hospital, her words implying that she was begging me to reconcile. Your brother told me, you're not happy at all now. That day, Yu Joshua followed me all the way to the top floor ward. She rushed in. Your father has already agreed to let us be together. The biggest obstacle between us is gone. Aching, I don't believe you've forgotten me so quickly. Saying that, she hugged me tightly. I'm willing to leave with you, to a city where no one knows us. We can start over. Are you out of your mind? I was about to push her away when I suddenly heard Lu Ruyin's voice. So intimate in the hospital, you two really have refined tastes. Yu Joshua pushed me away abruptly. Sensing something was wrong, I turned around and saw the woman who had been lying in bed sitting up. Why don't you continue? Did my waking up interrupt you two at a bad time? So this was Lu Ruyin herself speaking. My heart pounded wildly, and I rushed her bedside. Are you awake? Is there anything that feels uncomfortable? Lu Ruyin coldly distanced herself from me. No need for Mr. Chu's concern. Instead of wasting time on this, why don't you settle your personal affairs first before discussing divorce with me? Lu Ruyin woke up, and my golden finger disappeared with her. She didn't remember anything that happened while she was in a vegetative state. That period of time was as if I had imagined it all. At this moment, doctors gathered in the ward, performing various examinations on Lu Ruyin. All of her bodily functions are fine. Congratulations, President Lu. She can be discharged from the hospital in a few days, the doctor said, relieved with a smile on his face. Congratulations also to Mr. Chu for finally ending his period of forbearance. Lu Ruyin frowned upon hearing this. What period of forbearance? The doctor probably thought we were very close and spoke without reservation. Your husband was pulling down your pants while you were sleeping. I told him not to rush and to wait a little longer. After saying that, he winked at me. Don't worry, I've checked your wife, and she's perfectly normal. Hearing this, I felt terrible. Why was this doctor so talkative? I hurriedly explained, it's not what you think. Lu Ruyin glanced at me. Mr. Chu's hobbies are truly diverse. The first thing Lu Ruyin did after waking up was to call the company assistant to the hospital to inquire about the company's situation. Thanks to Mr. Chu, the company is running smoothly. After speaking, the assistant handed over the phone and played the video of the press conference from that day. After watching it, Lu Ruyin's hand trembled with anger. Looking at me, her eyes filled with fury, she said, Who allowed you to hold this kind of press conference and spout such nonsense? Originally, I hadn't said a word, but hearing this, I became a little unhappy. Given that the news of the injury has already been revealed, do you think I shouldn't have held this press conference? Lu Ruyin opened her mouth, but didn't say anything. Then I asked her, at the press conference, Do you think there was a problem with the description of events in my speech, or with the description of your personality during the subsequent Q&A with reporters? Lu Ruyan still didn't speak. I raised an eyebrow. Since there's no problem with either, what problem do you have now? Lu Ruyan was probably being refuted for the first time. She was stunned for a moment before harumphing, sharp-tongued. I also gave a cold snort in response. Ungrateful. Not wanting to stay in the same room with her any longer, I decided to leave first. Before leaving, I thought of something and took out a stack of papers from my bag. Here, this was originally intended to coax you to sleep at night, but since you're already awake, just read it yourself. What is it? I opened the first page, pointed to the title above, and said, President becomes a vegetable again. Lu Ruyan's face suddenly changed. I snorted, hope it pisses you off. Perhaps stimulated by the fan fiction, I didn't see Lu Ruyan for several days. The next time we met was a week later. She stormed towards me. Is this your wishful thinking? I looked at the female CEO, who had been acting like a pufferfish every day since waking up, and was a little speechless. What wishful thinking? She threw out a stack of photos. I picked them up and looked at them, and couldn't help but frown. They were all photos of the first time I met you, Joshua, outside the hospital. There were photos of you, Joshua, loitering around the hospital, and even one of her forcibly hugging me. However, the angles of the photos were extremely tricky, and they even created a bit of a sweet atmosphere. This time, I understood Chu Yan's plan. If they couldn't get a divorce, they would deliberately use you, Joshua, to fabricate the illusion of me cheating, in order to destroy the popularity brought by the previous CP hype. I still vividly remembered how the original owner died, and now looking at Lu Ruyan's gloomy expression, I felt a little flustered. The photos are fake. I'm chanja by you every day. Where would I have the time to secretly meet a woman? Chanja by me. I suddenly shut up. Lu Ruyan sneered. Now you don't even bother to put any effort into lying. You're certain I can't do anything to you. I really couldn't stand Lu Ruyan's sarcastic attitude every day. Lu Ruyan, do you have multiple personalities? That's not what you really think at all. How can you say such hurtful things? You were clearly very happy when it was in the news, and you were following those fan fictions more closely than anyone else. You're just jealous of you, Joshua's appearance. Also, you don't want to divorce me at all. Why do you have to pretend to be like this? It's really annoying. Chu Chun, who told you this nonsense? You told me. You're telling me nonsense every day. I glared at her, believe it or not. After saying that, I turned around and left. Lu Ruyan stood there for a moment, seeing that I had no intention of turning back. Don't get mad. What did I say? Why are you still angry? Leaving everything else aside, even if a wife sees intimate photos of her husband with another woman, asking for an explanation isn't too much to ask, right? I can't be bothered with him. Come talk to me when you've straightened out your wife's attitude. Although Lu Ruyan and I had a conflict, we both knew what kind of storm the photos would cause online if they were leaked. The public is the easiest group to incite. Some people don't care about the truth. They only believe what they want to know. Recently, Lu Ruyan has been leaving early and returning late every day, busy and exhausted. I wasn't idle either. I asked someone to help investigate you Joshua's personal information. A few days later, there were actually results. The other party directly hacked into you Joshua's computer and obtained her financial records. Half a month ago, Chu Yan transferred $1 million to you Joshua's personal account. After that, he started tracking your movements. I've also put the hospital surveillance you wanted into the USB drive, which improved that you didn't pay attention to you Joshua's harassment. It wasn't until very late that Lu Ruyan came home. I want to talk to you about you Joshua's matter, I said, following her into the study and taking out the information in my hand. Here's the video of you Joshua stalking you, and also the transfer record from the Chu family to her. Doesn't this prove my innocence? I waited for a long time, but Lu Ruyan didn't react. I looked up and saw her staring straight at me, her eyes a little dazed. I leaned in and smelled her. You've been drinking? Lu Ruyan bent her thumb and index finger, confirming that she was drunk. I cleaned up the things on the table. Rest early. I'll talk to you tomorrow. After saying that, I turned to leave, But Lu Ruyan got up and grabbed me. "You're so mean," she said, looking at me with her eyes filled with tears, looking wronged. "Why are you always angry, every day? Aren't you the one who's angry, every day? Unhappy, Miss Lu." She obviously couldn't listen to my explanation at all. "You took pictures with other women? That's fake. You even let her hug you?" I push her away. "Even if you're my husband, I haven't hugged you. Why don't you get to hug you first?" After saying that, Lu Ruyan leaned over and hugged me tightly, then rubbed her face against my cheek. The drunken Lu Ruyan was obviously more honest. She hugged a pillow and followed me into the bedroom, insisting on sleeping with me. I kicked the woman who was taking up half of my bed so comfortably. "Get down. We're husband and wife. Why can't I sleep here? You'll regret it tomorrow." "I won't." In the end, I still couldn't coax her away, because I was very curious. Lu Ruyan's expression after sobering up would definitely be wonderful. The next day, she didn't disappoint me. Lu Ruyan opened her eyes with a look like the sky had fallen. "What's going on?" I propped my head up, feeling very good. It was President Lu who climbed into bed in the middle of the night. "You're asking me what's going on? I want to ask you." Saying that, I sighed. Sure enough, the internet says women can't be trusted. Who would have thought that President Lu, who looks so decent during the day, would do such sneaky things at night? Lu Ruyan's face gradually stiffened. "It was an accident. Classic lines from a scumbag woman, I understand. Today I'll ask someone to change the lock on my room, so you won't have to blame me for pushing the door open." When Lu Ruyan left, her face was so gloomy that it could drip water. The depression I had been feeling for nearly half a month finally cleared up. But there were also drawbacks. After that day, I became a plague. Lu Ruyan would avoid me whenever she saw me. Several times I wanted to tell her about the investigation, but she coldly blocked me. Even Mother Lu noticed that something was wrong and came over to ask me, "Are you and Ian having a conflict?" I hesitated for a moment before asking, "Mom, do you think Lu Ruyan's personality is a bit strange? Sometimes she's quite lively, but sometimes she's very gloomy, sometimes good and sometimes bad." Mother Lu was silent for a long time before finally opening her mouth. "Actually, Anne also has an older brother." I was stunned. I didn't know that. The book didn't have much description of the villain's family situation. I only knew that Lu Ruyan's family was wealthy. After her father passed away due to illness, she inherited the family business. Lu Ruyan's personality wasn't like this when she was a child. She was lively and active, climbing mountains and trees all day long, mischievous and mischievous. Ian's older brother had a steady personality. Originally, his father and I planned to let his older brother take over the company and let Ian grow up as she pleased. But unexpectedly, when Lu Ruyan was 8 years old, Lu Ruyan's older brother passed away. That year, we took them out to play. Suddenly, there was a storm. At that time, Lu Ruyan was swimming in the sea. Her older brother was swept away while saving her. Since then, Ruyan has completely changed. Because of guilt, she forced herself to grow up overnight and slowly became like her older brother. So the thoughts I hear are the real Lu Ruyan. Lu's mother's eyes were a little moist as she held my hand. At that time, we were all immersed in the grief of our son's death, and we didn't notice Ayan's abnormality. It was too late when we found out. "Ah-chun, I can feel that you are different in Ayan's heart. If you also have some good feelings for my daughter, can you help her?" Lu's mother's words made me think about it for a long time. I didn't have any good feelings for Lu Ruyan. At first, I thought I didn't. Approaching Lu Ruyan was completely an arrangement of the plot, and pleasing Lu Ruyan was entirely for self-preservation. But when did it start to change? Maybe it was when Lu Ruyan pestered me to chat, or maybe it was when she said thank you, husband. During this period, Lu Ruyan became another person, but I always couldn't control myself. Thinking of Lu Ruyan at that time, thinking that if that Lu Ruyan woke up, would she act spoiled with me? Would she pester me to accompany her? Until that night, Lu Ruyan was drunk, and she hugged me and said she missed me so much, and my heart that had been hanging for a long time finally landed. Actually, I also wanted to say to her, I miss her very much too. Is this kind of emotion considered love? In the evening, I waited until very late, and after Lu Ruyan came home, I took the pillow and ran to her bedroom. Is there anything? Nothing. Just looking for you to sleep. Don't take an inch. I curved the corners of my eyes. I'd rather return this favor. A few traces of sarcasm appeared on the corner of Lu Ruyan's mouth. Chu Chun, are you not recognizing your own identity? You are just here to marry into the Lu family in place of your brother. When the public opinion is over, we will separate. So you mean you want Lu Yin to accompany you? I suddenly realized, took out my phone. Then I'll help you call him now. As I said, I started dialing the phone in front of her. Brother, it's Chu Chun. Before I could finish speaking, Lu Ruyan pounced on me and directly snatched my phone, glanced at my black screen, and realized she had been tricked. I took the opportunity to hug Lu Ruyan's waist and blinked. The doctor was right. You have indeed recovered very well. At that moment, Lu Ruyan's face turned red, and she didn't say a word for a long time. She walked stiffly to the bathroom and slammed the door shut. I laughed out loud. At this time, I finally confirmed that I liked her. I just fell in love with Lu Ruyan, clarifying my feelings. I didn't restrain myself either, running to her every other night. At first, she restrained herself, pretending to coax me away, but later she just lay flat, letting me do whatever I wanted. This day, I lay in my bedroom, not wanting to move. I didn't expect Lu Ruyan to come over on her own initiative in the evening. Looking at me with a frown, Chu Chun, are you best at giving up halfway? This was inexplicable. I reacted for a while before realizing that Lu Ruyan was actually hinting at me. A little tired, taking a day off. As soon as the words fell, the bedroom door slammed shut, startling me. I felt a little uncomfortable in my heart. We were considered bed partners anyway. What was with being so fierce? As a result, before a few minutes passed, the door opened again, and Lu Ruyan walked in expressionlessly, holding a thermos cup of wolfberry water in her hand, placing it stiffly on the bedside table. My mother asked me to give it to you. Then thank your mother. Lu Yin stood in place and looked at me for a moment, then pursed her lips and left again. Waiting until 12 o'clock, I was lying in bed, playing on my phone when the door opened again. Looking, it was still Lu Ruyan. Don't stay up late when you're physically tired. I finally felt annoyed and couldn't help but retort. Did your mother say that too? Lu Ruyan didn't answer me, walked over directly and snatched my phone away, then pulled me all the way back to her bedroom. The moment she pushed me onto the bed, she said with a shy expression, "Close your eyes and sleep." Why does this sentence sound so familiar? Isn't this what I often said when coaxing her to sleep? I have to say that my sleep strategy still worked. I clearly felt the change in Lu Ruyan's attitude towards me. Although she didn't talk as much nonsense as when she was a vegetable, at least she was like a normal person. Just as life was getting smoother and smoother, the photos of me and you Joshua were still exposed. And adding fuel to the fire this time was Chu Yin, who accepted media interviews before me. This matter is my fault to Ah Cheng. He married into the Lu family on my behalf. If it wasn't for my willful elopement, he wouldn't have been separated from the person he liked, nor would he have married Lu Ruyan. If you want to scold, just scold me. Don't scold my brother. Netizens were all blown up. What is this? Is this something happening in the 21st century? The wealthy are too chaotic. The marketing is also too disgusting. This kind of superficial couple can also form a CP. These netizens money, then each plays their own game. For a time, I didn't know who to feel sorry for. I still feel sorry for myself. The money I spent on CP back then is now my tears. Immediately afterward, hashtag Chuchin is substitute marriage hashtag was pushed to the top of the hot search, and even hashtag Chuyin hashtag was brought along for the ride. The ways netizens are scolding me online have already reached new heights. An illegitimate child is an illegitimate child. I just think Chu Yin is generous and natural, different from Chu Chun. Why do I have a bit of a conspiracy theory feeling? The matter of Chu Chin's substitute marriage is probably self-directed and self-acted, just wanting to marry into a wealthy family. He calculated well, marrying a vegetable wife, getting money and winning fame, and it doesn't hinder him from being lovey-dovey with his little lover. But he didn't expect his wife to wake up. Lu Ruyan walked over and took my phone away. Don't look at it. I'm fine. I just think it's quite interesting. I'm just an ordinary person. What virtue and ability do I have to be mocked by the entire internet now? It's because I didn't handle it well. Lu Rian sat beside me. I will help you prepare a clarification draft, sort out all the timelines, and if necessary, I will hold another press conference. You will prepare the speech. I thought for a while and shook my head. Forget it, I don't want to face the camera. Lu Rian was silent for a moment. Don't be afraid. Your wife will personally be the spokesperson for this press conference. At the time, I didn't react to what was strange, but after a few minutes, I thought about the conversation again and realized. Lu Ruyan, have you remembered something? Remembered what? Lu Ruyan didn't even lift her head, always looking at the computer. You said she remembered the cross-stitch thing? I stood up, surprised and delighted. When did you remember? Lu Ruyan then stopped what she was doing, a hint of helplessness in her eyes. It's been so long since that drunken night. Then why didn't you tell me? You were still waiting for me to come to sleep with you every day. She glanced at me. I went looking for you too. I ground my teeth, unilaterally deciding to give her the cold shoulder. Lu Rian got up and sat on me. I'm sorry, husband. She lowered her voice. Your wife has to save face too. I couldn't help but laugh when I thought about that time. Humph, you did a lot of shameless things. The evidence was all sorted out according to the timeline and posted online, hammering Chu Yin so hard he had almost no room to fight back. After discussing it, Lu Ruyan and I jointly held an online press conference to explain the whole story to the netizens. A reporter asked, "Is this true?" Lu Ruyan didn't avoid it. "It's true." Her voice softened. The marriage contract with the Chu family was set by the older generation, but I didn't have any feelings for Mr. Chu Yin, so I was planning to refuse, but I didn't expect an accident to happen before I could resolve it. My mother was anxious to help her daughter, wanting to use a happy event to ward off bad luck, so she discussed with the Chu family to bring the wedding forward. Of course, the Chu family didn't want their son to marry a vegetable, so they let my current husband, Chu Chun, marry me. Lu Rian smiled. I am very grateful for their decision, which allowed me to find someone I truly love. What do you like about your husband? Lu Rian pondered for a moment before saying, word by word, kindness, integrity, intelligence, mischievousness. Each word seemed to contain countless stories. The reporter was moved by Lu Rian's eyes and couldn't speak for a few seconds. Then they asked me, Mr. Chu, we actually asked you the same question before. I'm very curious, now that CEO Lu is awake. Has your answer changed? I smiled and shook my head. No, I love her for being lively and cheerful, always. Lu Rian's truth came to light, and the Chu family was once again trending on social media. Later, someone followed the clues and also discovered an economic dispute, which dragged the original owner's father into a lawsuit. With Lu Rian's deliberate suppression in the early stages, coupled with the change in public opinion later, the Chu family's business also declined from then on. I couldn't help but feel a little she the protagonist should have been Chu Yin. How did it become like this now? Is this called the victory of the big villain? At this time, I belatedly realized a problem. Chu Yin is the male lead. So who is the female lead? Why do I feel like I have no impression at all? This day, Lu Rian came home with a bombshell. Chu Chun is getting married. Who is it? The boss of the Shan Group. Who Shan Group sounds like a big company. I guessed that the female lead should have appeared. So I asked, she must be very beautiful, right? After all, she is the female lead. Lu Rian glanced at me, casually opened her phone, and flipped through someone's moments. I stared at the woman on the screen, who was at least 60 years old. You've got the wrong person. She's an old woman. The Chu family situation is not optimistic. It's good enough if a rich woman agrees to take care of him as a gigolo at this time. I was not reconciled. Does she have a daughter who is very fair and beautiful? As a result, Lu Rian's face darkened. Now even a vegetable wife can't satisfy you, and you're already thinking about other people's daughters? I don't mean that. I'm being serious. Before I could finish speaking, Lu Rian pounced on me. Several hours later, Lu Rian finally let go. Have you seen enough now? Still thinking about other people? I wasn't thinking about it in the first place, too lazy to pay attention to her. I rolled my eyes, and Lou Ruyin leaned over. Husband, there's something I've always been curious about. The first time I let you look at my butt, what was your feeling? I recalled it, and the corners of my mouth couldn't help but rise, so white, like a big white steamed bun.